We continue our conversation with Chuck Esposito, the sports director out there at Sunset Stations in Las Vegas. And Chuck, let's talk puck right now because we've got a good one between Nashville and Pittsburgh. The Pens trying to make it 2 in a row and repeat as Stanley Cup champs. They've opened up as a pretty strong favorite in this series. What's your take overall? And are you seeing some action come in early either way in this series?
It's a great series. I think you look at the fact that the Penguins are a 9-5 favorite. They're the first team in the salary cap era that could repeat if they happen to repeat. The Hawks never got back there as good as they played, or the Kings of late, that neither one of those teams was able to get back a year after they won it. Such a contrast in styles. You've got Pittsburgh, the defending champions, Sidney Crosby, arguably the best player in the league, all that offense against Nashville, who dismantled the Hawks in 4 games, only lost 1 game at home during the playoffs, and that game was in overtime. They've got a goalie in Pecorine who's standing on his head. They play unbelievable defense. They've got great speed if they go against the defending champs who've got all that firepower on offense. And you have to remember, they're a 16 seed. I mean, God, you think about that. The last team in. But I don't think they're a 16 seed anymore with the way they played in the Western Conference and dismantled the Hawks. But quite the contrast in styles with offense against defense. It's Steel Town versus Honky Tonk. It's going to be great. And I think from our end, because of the contrast in styles and the defending champs in it, you're going to have a really good handle on that Stanley Cup Finals.
With Game 1 Monday night in Pittsburgh, you've got them at -165 in that Game 1. Do you think bettors will kind of take a wait-and-see approach? Yeah, they might kind of dip the toe in on Game 1, see how Game 1 goes, and then kind of figure out the betting pattern for the rest of the series?
You know, I think you'll see some action on Game 1. It wouldn't surprise me to see it go up on Pittsburgh. The reason being is that they're the defending champs. They've been there before. They had to go 7 games with Ottawa, but they beat the Capitals. They beat the Jackets, 2 really good teams in the Eastern Conference. And I think just from the experience perspective, this is a Nashville team that's never been this far before. They're really young. They play good defensively, but it is a hostile arena. Not that they can't win a game in Pittsburgh throughout the series, but I think the Game 1 number you're going to see start to tick up a little bit.
What about like an MVP type pick here? Obviously, Sid the Kid, I'm assuming most people would put the money on him, but would you look at a Pecorine? Would you look at a Matt Murray?
I would.
Yeah?
I would absolutely look at a Pecorine. I think the way that he's played, and I think his save percentage in the playoffs so far is .941, which is unheard of. If they get the lead in any game with the speed of their defense and kind of the way that they all kind of bunch in and play that dump and chase, they are a tough team to beat. And I think if they get that lead because of the way Pecorine has played, I think that's a huge advantage for them. But if Nashville ultimately wins the series, it wouldn't surprise me if he was the MVP.
All right, if you can't get to Pittsburgh or Nashville, get out to Las Vegas. Check out our guy, Chuck Esposito, at Sunset Station Casinos. Thanks again, Chuck, for the time and the information, as always, my friend.
All right, thanks for having me on.